Before there was anything, there was nothing. No light, no sound, no life. Only darkness stretched across an endless emptiness, and in that darkness, God spoke. "Let there be light," he said, and light, pure, brilliant, blazing light, burst into existence. For the first time, there was something where once there had been nothing. God separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day and the darkness night. And that was the very first day. On the second day, God made the sky, a great dome stretching above, separating the waters below from the waters above. And on the third day, he gathered the waters together and let dry ground appear. He called the ground land and the waters sea. And from that land, he brought forth every kind of plant, trees heavy with fruit, fields of golden grain, flowers in every color imaginable. On the fourth day, God set lights in the sky, a great blazing sun to rule the day, a gentle glowing moon to rule the night, and the stars, countless shimmering, scattered across the heavens like diamonds on black velvet. On the fifth day, God filled the waters with life, great whales that sang in the deep, shimmering fish of every kind, creatures both strange and wonderful. And above, he filled the sky with birds, eagles soaring on the wind, flocks of white doves, songbirds filling the air with the first music the world had ever heard. On the sixth day, God filled the earth with animals. Lions with golden manes walked through tall grass. Elephants thundered across open plains. Deer drank from crystal streams. Every creature, great and small, from the mighty bear to the smallest ladybug, each one made with purpose and care. But God wasn't finished. He knelt down and gathered dust from the ground, ordinary dust, the same earth beneath your feet, and from it he formed a man. Then God breathed into him the breath of life, and the man opened his eyes for the very first time. God called him Adam, and Adam was different from everything else God had made, because Adam was made in God's own image. God planted a garden in Eden, a paradise beyond anything you could imagine. Rivers of crystal water flowed through it. Every tree was beautiful, and every fruit was sweet. And in the center of the garden stood two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God placed Adam in the garden and gave him one rule, just one. "You may eat from any tree in the garden," God said, "but you must not eat from the tree of knowledge, for if you do, you will die." God looked at Adam and said, "It is not good for man to be alone." So God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. And from his side, God made a woman. When Adam woke and saw her, he was overjoyed. "At last," he said, "she is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." He called her Eve, and together they walked through the garden, unashamed, unafraid, and at peace with God and with each other. Now the serpent was the most cunning of all the creatures God had made. One day it came to Eve and whispered, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve answered, "We may eat from the trees, but God said we must not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden, or we will die." The serpent smiled. "You won't die," it hissed. "God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened. You'll be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful. It looked delicious. And the idea of becoming wise was tempting. So she reached out and took it. She ate, and she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate too. In that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, but not the way they'd hoped. For the first time, they felt something terrible and new. They felt shame. They tried to cover themselves with fig leaves, and when they heard God walking in the garden in the cool of the evening, they hid. "Where are you?" God called, not because he didn't know, but because he wanted them to come to him. Adam answered, "I was afraid, because I was naked, so I hid." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed the serpent, and God, with sorrow in his voice, spoke the consequences. The serpent would crawl on its belly, the ground would be cursed, Life would now be filled with pain and hard labor, and one day, they would return to the dust from which they were made. But even in that moment of judgment, God showed mercy. He made garments of animal skin and clothed Adam and Eve himself. Then he sent them out of the garden. At the entrance to Eden, God placed mighty angels, cherubim, with a flaming sword that turned in every direction, guarding the way to the tree of life. The paradise was closed. The world outside was harder, colder, and filled with thorns. But this was not the end of the story, because hidden in God's words to the serpent was a promise that one day a descendant of Eve would come to crush the serpent's head. A savior was coming, and the story was only beginning. Next time, the story of two brothers, and the first time blood was spilled on the earth.